Good people, what is going on? Another episode of the All Go Podcast. I'm your host, Desmond, out enjoying the beautiful weather here in Michigan. Last 2 days has been unreal. Gets me very excited for summertime. So today is draft day, and do another video, talk a little bit about the draft. But first one I wanted to do is to talk about Aaron Rodgers and his interview on the Pat McAfee show. You know, he talked about, I don't like having my shades on, sorry. He talked about how the Jets, had him fly out. He flew on his own dime, which, are we being serious right now? He came out and they had a meeting, sat down, and Aaron Glenn asked him, hey, do you want to play football for the Jets, I would assume? And Rodgers said his response was, I'm interested. Now, knowing anything about football players and football coaches and the NFL and being a quarterback, and the you I'm talking to is Aaron Rodgers and also fans of football, this is not a lukewarm type of situation. This is something that you have to have an absolute burning desire to be successful. You have to have that desire to be successful, even if you're not going to be successful. Like, just that is literally the barrier to entry, is having a burning desire to play, be there, and just I can't wait to get back out there. So a response like I'm interested probably tells Aaron Glenn this isn't the guy that I want to be dealing with. And honestly, for Rodgers, I mean, I get it, man. You had a decent year. The team stunk. You didn't really help all that much when, the chips were kind of on the table, so to speak. So it's like, and they've already signed Justin Fields. So they feel like they have their quarterback of the future, and you're just interested. I would have done the exact same thing that Aaron Glenn did, where once I got that response, cool, I'm done. Because I'm not doing this back and forth, this we're going to beg you to come out and play, because I don't want, like Mike Tomlin says, what does he say? We want volunteers, not hostages. I'm not trying to hold you hostage to come and play for the Jets. I'm not trying to beg you to come and play for the Jets. Because guess what? Every single week, you're going to be on the Pat McAfee show saying something that I now have to address at my head coaching media session every single week. And I don't want to deal with that. This is my first time being a head coach. These jobs don't come along all that often, and I can't afford to screw it up. So no, I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers. I'm with him, and he complained that this was something that could have been a phone call. Well, do we recall the complaint that he had on the Pat McAfee show again, that the team tried to give him a call? This was Green Bay. Green Bay was trying to contact him when they went through their split. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was either they tried to FaceTime me and only phone calls work, or they tried to call me and only FaceTimes work. Something weird, but the reception is the same for a freaking phone call or FaceTime. Like, if you can accept a phone call in just about every case, you can get a FaceTime. So that was just BS. But that's Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's actually ironic that the team that is acting with the most sense is the New York Jets, because we know them as being extremely dysfunctional. So kudos to Aaron Glenn. I would have done it exactly the same way. I think difficult conversations should be done, if possible, in person. Because honestly, I get it. Like, I don't need to fly out to New York, but it's like, dude, are you that busy? Like, that's a respect level. Like, yes, it could have been a phone call, but the conversation also could have went many different ways. But because of your response, that told me everything I needed to know. So yeah, it's time for us to go our separate ways. And honestly, if I were Steelers, and maybe they'll wait to see what happens in the first and second rounds as far as possibly getting a young quarterback. If I were the Steelers, I would have already been out on the Aaron Rodgers saga, because I understand they don't have the best options right now, but I'm not who wants to deal with this? I get it. Like the Steelers have had issues with quarterback for the longest, since Big Ben retired, and really before then, because his last couple of years weren't all that great. But like Mike Tomlin is not going to want to sit up there and take questions about Aaron Rodgers' media session with Pat McAfee every week. Like, that's going to be a pain in the butt, and you're not good enough to bring all of the distractions that you bring, because nobody wants to deal with distractions. That is the biggest headache for head coaches in the NFL, is distractions. They don't want any of them. They don't want bulletin board material. They don't want you going on media sessions saying whatever it is you want and having all these subliminal messages to the team and players and coaches. Nobody wants to deal with that. So kudos to the Jets. If I were the Steelers, I would just move on. We'll figure it out. Either I'll have Shador, Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Kyle McCord. I'll go with somebody. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the Aaron Rodgers situation. Not at all. Not at all. But that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate it. Peace.